Hello everybody, Tall Paul here, and today I've actually been playing a lot of Daggerheart recently, and I wanted to make a video going over some of the Ancestry options available in the playtest packet. The current playtest packet 1.5 is the last playtest packet that Daggerheart is going to be putting out before their full release. So this is the final rendition we're going to see before we actually get to see the final product. So I figured this is a good time to kind of go through that. Of the Ancestries, there are 18 of them, which offers a great selection of options as you're creating your character to play Daggerheart. The 18 cards are available in the all cards section of the playtest materials. Today we're going to be going through the individual ancestries. There is a mixed ancestry option in the playtest material where you are able to select one of the two ancestry features from the two ancestries you're trying to mix. You would only pick one top ancestry and one bottom ancestry. But let's get into the individual ones, starting with the Clank. Clanks are sentient mechanical beings built from a variety of materials, including metal and wood, stone, and clay, to resemble humanoids, animals, or even inanimate objects like organic beings. Their bodies come in a wide array of sizes and may change and adapt based on time and need. Because of their custom construction, many Clanks have highly specialized physical features. Examples include clawed hands for grasping, wheels for movement, or built-in weaponry. Many Clanks are also known to embrace an individual's desire for body modifications, including those based in style as well as function, and members of our ancestries might turn to Clank artisans to construct highly customized mobility aids and physical adornments. Other ancestries can create Clanks, even using their own physical features as inspiration, but it's also common for Clanks to build one another. A Clank's lifespan extends as long as they're able to acquire or craft new parts, making their physical forms effectively immortal. That said, their minds are subject to the effects of time and will deteriorate as the magic that powers them loses potency. For their features, they're going to get purposeful design. Decide who you were created by and for what purpose. Choose an experience that reflects this and increase it by +1. And then efficient. When you take a short rest, you can substitute a long rest move for one of your short rest moves. These features are very cool and I think very thematic for the Clank. Purposeful design is a fantastic because experiences are really one of those things that makes Daggerheart unique in the way it plays. So having something that ties to your ancestry and who you were made by is very cool. Next up, we have the Dracona. Dracona are Daggerheart's equivalent of like a dragonkin. Dracona resemble wingless dragons in human form and possess a powerful elemental breath. All Dracona have thick scales that provide excellent natural armor against both the force of nature and attacks. They are large in size, ranging from 5 feet to 7 feet on average, with equally large and naturally sharp teeth. Dracona perpetually grow their teeth throughout their approximately 350-year lifespan. So members of this ancestry are never in danger of permanently losing an incisor. Unlike their dragon ancestors, Dracona do not have wings and cannot fly without magical aid. Members of this ancestry each possess elemental breath, the type of which is passed down through the generations of each one of their families. So for the ancestry features, the first one you have is that elemental breath. You get to choose an element for your breath: ice, fire, electricity, etc. You can even kind of choose something in between basing on, your DM's discretion. You can use this breath against a target or a group of targets within very close range, treating it as an instinct weapon that deals D8 magic damage using your proficiency, which means it scales with proficiency, which is very cool. And then for scales, your natural scales act as protection, increasing your armor score by +1. Next up, we're going to move on to the Dwarf. Dwarves are most easily recognized as short humanoids with square features, dense musculature, and thick hair. Their average height ranges from 4 feet to 5.5 feet, and they are often quite broad in proportion to their stature. Due to a high amount of keratin in their skin and nails, both are very resilient, and dwarves are known to decorate their bodies with a number of tattoos, unique piercings, and embedded gemstones. Equally, their hair grows thick, primarily on the head, but across other proportions of their body as well. Dwarves of all genders are known to wear facial hair, which may be styled in an intricate pattern. Typically, dwarves live up to about 250 years of age, maintaining their muscle mass well into their later life. For their ancestry features, they have increased fortitude and thick skin. With increased fortitude, you can spend 3 hope to half incoming physical damage, basically giving you resistance. And thick skin, when you take minor damage, you roll a d6. On a 5-up, you take no damage instead. Both of these kind of play to the resilience of a dwarf. Both of them, I think, are very cool as far as ancestry features go. I think the 3 hope might be a little bit expensive for the increased fortitude, but again, both of them fit the dwarf very, very well. Right after the dwarf, we're going to be moving on to the elf. Elves are typically tall humanoids with pointy ears and acutely attuned senses. Their ears vary in size and pointed shape, and as elves age, the tips will begin to droop. While elves come in a wide range of body types, they're all fairly tall, with the shortest among them standing about 5 feet 8 inches, and the tallest coming close to 6.5 feet. Some elves possess what is known as mystic form, which occurs when an individual has dedicated themselves to a portion of the natural world so deeply that their physical form has changed. These characteristics can include celestial freckles, the presence of leaves, vines, or flowers on their skin or in their hair, and more. Sometimes these traits are inherited from an elf's parents, but if an individual chooses to move their focus away from that sphere of influence, portions of that appearance will adjust over time. Because elves live for about 350 years, these traits might change more than once throughout their lifespan. For their ancestry features, we're going to have quick reactions and then celestial trance. For quick reactions, you can mark a stress to take advantage on a reaction roll, which is excellent. That is a very strong ancestral feature. Then you have celestial trance. During a rest, you can drop into a trance and make an extra downtime move. An extra downtime move means you can clear more stress, repair more armor, get more hit points, or kind of prepare and get you and another party member more hope, which is incredibly good. Next up, we're going to move on to the fairy. Those of fairy ancestry are winged humanoid creatures with insect-like feature. Fairies have close ties to the natural world and frequently possess characteristics that allow them to blend in with various plants. Based on their individual heritage, fairies' feature might more closely resemble either humanoids or bugs. They might possess additional arms, compound eyes, lantern organs, chitinous exoskeletons, or stingers. The average height of a fairy ranges from about 2 feet to about 5 feet, but some fairies can grow up to 7 feet tall. All fairies possess membranous wings and can go through a unique process of metamorphosis throughout their relatively short lifespan, usually no more than about 50 years. For their ancestry features, you have those wings as well as luckmender. With wings, you can fly. While flying, mark a stress before an adversary's attack roll to increase your evasion by 2 against that attack. And then for luckbender, once per session, after you or an ally in close range makes an action roll, you can spend 3 hope to re-roll the duality die, but you must take the new result. I really like wings and the fact that they build in evasion to that ancestral feature, and luckbender I think is just very kind of cool and thematic for a fairy. Next up, let's take a look at the fawn. Fawns resemble goats in human form, with curving horns, square pupils, and cloven hooves. Like any ancestry, their appearances can vary widely, but most fawns have a goat-like lower body with dense fur and a short tail, while their torso and hands are usually humanoid. Fawn faces range from humanoid to goat-like, and they can have varying ear shapes, horn shapes, and fur thickness. Fawn horns range from short with minimal curvature to much larger and curling. The average fawn ranges from 4 feet to 6.5 feet, which can change dramatically based on the way they stand. The majority of fawns have proportionally long limbs, no matter their individual size or shape. Fawns are known to live for about 225 years. For the ancestry features, you're going to get leap and kick. Leap, you can easily leap up to close range across gaps or chasms without making an agility roll. And then kick, on a successful melee attack, you can mark a stress to kick yourself off of the target, adding 2d6 damage and pushing either them or you out of melee range. I really like Kick. Kick, I think, is a very cool. I think Leap is very kind of stereotypical for fawn or fawn-like creatures, but I think Kick really can knock the playability of the fawn up and be really cool in a lot of different situations. Let's move on to the Firbolg. Firbolgs resemble cows in human form, typically recognized by their broad nose and long ears. Some have facial features that have a blend of humanoid and cow, but others, often referred to as minotaurs, have heads that are entirely represent cattle. All members of the Ancestry have humanoid bodies covered in fur, and many possess horns that will grow out wildly from their skull. Firbolgs come in a range of colors from earth tones to pastel hues like pink and blue. They're tall and muscular creatures with heights ranging from around 5 feet to 7 feet and possess remarkable strength for their size no matter what their age. On average, Firbolgs live for about 150 years. So for our Ancestry features, we're going to have natural calm. Whenever you should mark a stress, roll a d6. On a 6, you don't mark it. And then charge. When you succeed on an agility roll, move from far or very far range into melee with one or more targets, mark a stress to deal 1d12 physical damage to all targets. Again, charge, I think, is really thematic, especially of the cow part of the humanoid form. And natural calm kind of plays into the classic stereotypical Firbolg from most fantasy of them being a calm individual. Next up, we have the Fun Grill. Fun Grills represent a mushroom in humanoid form. Because of this, their appearance can vary widely. They can be anywhere from about 2 feet to 7 feet tall, and either more humanoid or more fungal in appearance. They come in an assortment of colors, from earth tones to bright reds, yellows, purples, and blues. Their physical forms are non-standardized, resulting in incredibly varied bodies, faces, and limbs. While the common lifespan of a fungal is about 300 years, some are reported to live much longer. Though they can vocalize or communicate non-verbally, many members of the Ancestry use a mycelial array to chemically exchange information with other fungirls across long distances. For your Ancestry features, you're going to have Fungirl Network and then Death Connection. With the Fungirl Network, you can make an instinct roll of 12 to speak with others in your Ancestry across any distance using your mycelial array. And then for the Death Connection, while touching a corpse that died recently, you can mark a stress to extract one memory related to a specific emotion or sensation. I think Death Connection is incredibly cool. I think, a lot of great storytelling comes from interacting with spells in Dungeons & Dragons like Speak with Dead. So having Death Connection is just something that can kind of play up. It can be a great vessel for lore. It can be great plot points driving the story forward. I think Death Connection is a very cool thing, and the Fungirl as a whole is a very interesting ancestry. Next up, we have our Galapa. These are going to be your turtles. Those of Galapa ancestry resemble anthropomorphic turtles with a large dome shell, which their heads and limbs can retract. On average, they range from 4 feet to 6 feet in height, and an individual's overall shape is dictated by the type of turtle that they resemble. Galapa come in a variety of earth tones, most often shades of green and brown, and they may possess several colorful or unique patterns, especially on their shells. No matter their other physicality, all Galapa can draw in their head, arms, and legs to protect them within their shell, using it as a shield when defensive measures are needed. The majority of the Ancestry move fairly slowly, no matter what their age, and will live for roughly 150 years. For your Ancestry features, you have that shell of protection. Your shell provides a natural shield, add your proficiency to your armor score, and then slow and steady. During combat, you can make an attack roll with advantage by placing an additional token on the action tracker. I think slow and steady kind of really plays into that. I'm a little bit slower, but with that slowness comes precision and being extra careful. Again, I love a good turtle, so I'm a big fan of the Galapa. Next up, we have our goblins. Those of goblin ancestry are small humanoids typically recognized by their large eyes and massive membranous ears. Because of these physical features, they tend to have keen hearing and eyesight that allows them to perceive details at a greater distance, in darkness, or in less than optimal environments. Their skin and eye colors are incredibly varied, with no one hue, either vibrant or subdued, more dominant than another. Their heights range from 3 feet to 4 feet, and each of their ears is about the size of an individual's head. Goblins are known to use their ear positions to very specific effect when communicating non-verbally. The goblin lifespan is roughly 100 years, and many will maintain their keen hearing and sight well into advanced age. For your ancestry features, you're getting Danger Sense. Once per short rest, mark a stress to make an adversary reroll an attack roll against you or an ally within very close range of you. Sounds like silvery barbs. And then sure footage, you ignore disadvantage on agility rolls, which I think is very fantastic. Both of these I think are very strong features. Goblins are a classic ancestry, and I think these are very thematic for people looking to play goblin creatures. Next up, one of my favorites, giants. Giants are very tall humanoids with long arms, broad stature, and 1 to 3 eyes. The smallest adults among the ancestry are about 6.5 feet, with the largest coming in around 8.5 feet. In combination with their size, giants are most easily recognized by their long arms that grant them added reach. They tend towards dense musculature, no matter which body type. When the majority amongst the ancestry have 2 eyes, it's not uncommon for giants to have 1 or 3 eyes. This trait is passed from one or both parents, and those with a single eye are often referred to as cyclops. The average giant lifespan is approximately 75 years. For your 2 ancestry features, you're getting endurance, gain an additional hit point slot, a character creation, and then reach. Treat any weapon, feature, ability, or spell that has melee range, though it has very close range instead. The reach part of this is very cool, and everybody likes additional hit points. For me, the reach part of it makes me feel bigger on the battlefield rather than just having a larger mini. I actually feel like I have more control in a larger space, which I found very cool. Next up, we have our halfling. Halflings are typically smaller humanoids with large hairy feet and prominent rounded ears. Their average halflings are 3 to 4 feet in height, with ears, noses, and feet that are larger in proportion to the rest of their features. Generally, those of this ancestry live for around 150 years, and their appearance is likely to remain fairly youthful even as they progress from adulthood to old age. Halflings are naturally attuned to the magical fields of the mortal realm, granting them a strong internal compass. They also possess an acute senses of hearing and smell that can often detect those who are familiar to them by sound of their movements. So, for our ancestry features, we're getting youthful spirit at the beginning of each session. Give everyone in your party of hope. And then little lucky. When you roll a 1 on your hope die, you can re-roll it, but you must take the new result. Always a fan of luck. I like little lucky because you're rolling 2 die, so you can't re-roll the fear die. You can only re-roll the hope one, which I think is very cool. And then youthful spirit, I think, just really embodies what I think a halfling is. Classically, even things like Lord of the Rings, having the hobbits, when the hobbits are around, the other party members have hope. When they're not around, they're in despair. So having a halfling is always going to make you feel a little bit more hopeful in your party. Next up, we have the classic human. Those of human ancestry are most easily recognizable by their dexterous hands, rounded ears, and bodies built for endurance. Their average height ranges from just under 5 feet to about 6.5 feet. They have a widely varied in their build, with some being quite muscular, others lithe, and everything in between. Humans are incredibly physically adept and can adjust to harsh climates with relative ease. In general, humans live to an age of about 100, with their bodies changing dramatically between their youngest and oldest years. For human ancestry features, we're going to have high stamina, take an additional stress slot, a character creation, and then adaptability. When you fail a roll that utilizes one of your experiences, you can mark a stress to reroll, but you must take the new result. Love a good reroll. The stress one is also very good. I think they could have done better with these two. I think with the other ancestry features being so unique, the human is difficult because it is such a classic, and I mean, we all exist as humans every day. But there's nothing that screams human to me about the ancestry features. High stamina is great. Adaptability is very good. I wish there was a little something more here. Next up, we have the Infurus. Those of Infurus ancestry are humanoids who possess sharp canines, pointed ears, and horns that come in a variety of styles. They are the descendants of demons from the circles below. While some Infurus horns resemble that of a goat or a ram, others bear the shape of a piercing spike. There is no standard number of horns for Infurus, although 2 and 4 are common, and some will have crowns of many horns, or only one. They may grow asymmetrically, forming unique shapes that the Infurus are known to enhance with carving or ornamentation. Their skin, hair, and horns come in an assortment of colors that can include soft pastels, stark tones, or vibrant hues, including rosy scarlet, deep purple, and pitch black. On average, Infurus range in height from 5 to 7 feet and are known to have long fingers and pointed nails. Infurus possess a dread visage that can manifest both involuntarily or purposefully based on experiencing fear, attempting to intimidate an adversary, or a variety of other strong emotions and goals. This can briefly modify their appearance in a way that includes lengthening their teeth and nails, changing the colors of their eyes, twisting their horns, or expanding their height. On average, Infurus live up to 350 years, and some of them attribute this lifespan to their deific lineage. So for their 2 ancestry features, we're going to have Fearless. When you roll with Fear, you can mark 2 stress to make it roll with Hope instead. And then the Dread Visage that we just talked about, you have advantage on rolls to intimidate a hostile target. Both of these are a lot of fun, and I think kind of key into what being of demonic lineage should be. You easily intimidate other people. Next up, the Qatari. Those of Qatari ancestry are feline humanoids with soft fur and high triangular ears. They also have vertically slit pupils, small pointed canine teeth, retractable claws, and long whiskers that assist their perception and navigation. Their ears can swivel nearly 180 degrees to detect sound, adding to their heightened senses. Depending on their lineage, Qatari might more closely resemble their cat ancestors or humans with an amount of hair or facial structure to match. Equally, they may or may not have tails, and their skin and fur possess a wide range of hues with solid colors, calico tones, tabby patterns, and an array of spots or stripes. Their height ranges wildly from about 3 feet to about 6.5 feet, and they live for about 150 years. For your 2 ancestry features, you're getting feline instincts. When you make an agility roll, you can mark a stress to reroll your hope die. You must take the new result and then retracting claws. You can make an agility roll to scratch a target in melee range. On a success, they become vulnerable. I like that they're using both feline instincts and a retractable claws here in this ancestry. Both of them feel very cat-like. I think both of them are a little bit underpowered compared to some of the other ancestries. I think when making an agility roll, you can mark a stress to reroll your hope dice. There are some ancestry features that just allow you to reroll one of the dice. And then with retracting claws, using an action to make something vulnerable. Next up, we have our orc. Orcs are most easily recognized as humanoids with square features and boar-like tusks. These tusks protrude from their lower jaw, and the size can vary between individuals, and we can see that they use this in one of their ancestry features. While they extend from their mouths, tusks are not used for consuming food, and thus many orcs choose to decorate them with significant ornamentation. Typically, orcs live for roughly 125 years. Unless altered, their tusks continue to grow throughout the course of their life. Orcs have mid-sized pointed ears, and their skin is typically colored green, blue, pink, or in gray tones. Orcs can tend towards a muscular stature no matter what their individual size or build, and their average height ranges from 5 to 6.5 feet. When we're looking at our ancestry features, we have sturdy. When you have 1 hit point remaining, your armor score is doubled, which is very cool. And then the one that uses the tusks, after making a successful melee attack, you can spend a hope to also gore the target with your tusks, adding 1d6 to that damage roll. Cool little added thing that brings the orc's tusks into some of the features for this ancestry. Next up, we have the ribbit. Ribbit is a very popular ancestry from this playtest packet. A lot of people find the ribbit very cool, both the ancestry features and just the fact of having an anthropomorphic frog is a lot of fun. Those of ribbit ancestry resemble anthropomorphic frogs with protruding eyes and webbed feet and hands. They have smooth, although sometimes warty and moist skin, eyes positioned on either side or the top of their head, while some ribbits have hind legs more than twice the length of their torso. Others may have fairly small limbs. No matter what their size, which range from about 3 to 4.5 feet, ribbits primarily move by hopping. All ribbits have hands and feet that are webbed, allowing them to swim with ease. Some ribbits possess a natural green or brown camouflage, while others are quite vibrantly colored in an array of bold patterns. No matter their appearance, all ribbits are born from eggs laid in the water, hatched into tadpoles, and after about 6 to 7 years, mature into amphibians that can move around on land. Ribbits live for approximately 100 years, and most have fully matured from tadpole form by roughly age 13. For their ancestry features, you have long tongue and amphibious. Long tongue, you can use your long tongue to grab onto things closest to you. You can also mark a stress to unleash it as a close finesse weapon that does 1d12 physical damage using your proficiency, which means it scales. And then amphibious, you can breathe and move underwater just as easily on land. Again, very thematic, very cool for the ribbit. And then we're going to move on to our last, the simia. Simias resemble anthropomorphic monkeys and apes with long limbs and prehensile feet. Their appearance ranges from the largest gorilla to the smallest marmoset, and everything in between. Their size does not align directly with their animal counterparts, as they tend to range from 2 to 6 feet tall. Although the degree varies, all members of this ancestry have prehensile feet and can utilize their dexterity in nonverbal communication, movement, work, and combat. This trait also grants them unique agility that can aid in a variety of physical tasks. On average, simia live close to 100 years. For our 2 ancestry features, we're going to get nimble and then natural climber. With nimble, you are increasing your evasion score by 1 at character creation, and then natural climber, you have advantage on agility rolls that involve balancing and climbing. Very cool idea for an ancestry, and again with this one, I think compared to some of the other ones, it's just a little bit underpowered. So there you have it. Those are the 18 ancestries that are available for you in the 1.5 version of the Daggerheart playtest. All of these really allow you to kind of create the character that you have in your mind that you want to play heroically in Daggerheart. In combination with class, subclass, and community, you can really have a very story-driven character that you can bring to the table and create an experience with the other players. I think there are some opportunities with these ancestries. I think some of them are very cool, some of them are very thematic, and then some of them I think are just a little bit underpowered, and then I think some of them just miss the mark on having something that really screams what that ancestry should be. I've played as a few of them now, one of them being the giant, as well as the Galapa. When I did it, I really felt like my ancestry abilities made me feel like that ancestry, using the shell of protection as a Galapa or having the large reach as a giant made me feel like I was that ancestry at the table. Overall, I like them all. I love the direction that they're going, and having so many options right off the bat for ancestry, I think is fantastic. I think these ancestries also run the gambit. I think you have some that are going to lend towards a more serious fantasy setting, and then some that are going to go towards a more whimsical fantasy setting, more like a Humblewood setting. Overall, I'm excited for Daggerheart and all of this to kind of come together. I'm going to do another video on the communities next. Be sure to like and subscribe so you know when that video comes out. We'll see you next time.